What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. Welcome to Purple Valley MX. This is the newest shop release. This is created by Pastico, who seems to be a bit of a busy man recently. I believe he helped a minute bit on the recent MXB Cup that we done in game, which is a replica of the Monster Energy Cup in real life. And now, less than a week later, we've got this bad boy released for us. So this is more than it seems, actually. There's 4 tracks in total here. We start things off nice and small here with the, I guess, like pit bike track. And then there's 3 national tracks. One's called The Big, which I'm guessing by looks of things just encompasses absolutely everything. I believe it might stay more over this side of the track. And then if we cross the little valley that we've got in the middle here, we've got another track. But they're all different timing gates, so we'll have to see how this works. But in my quick little flyover we've got here, there's bits of section like this where it uses parts of the track and not others. And even parts like this here where there's different iterations of the layout. So I'll be very interested to see where the track map actually takes me. Because if we use this as an example, both of these sections of track both go, I think, oh no, this does go in this direction. Okay, no, that's fine. So it looks like you might do a long loop and then cross back down and go straight across that way. So maybe the big one is very, very big. No idea. How big's the track map? I've loaded up the big one first. It's not terribly large. We'll see. We'll see. Today I am trying to get some more practice in on that bad boy over there, the Yami 250. And tonight I believe I'm probably going to try and do the Odin series on the 250 as well, just to get some more bike time. I imagine it's going to be a bit of a weird race to compete in later today, just because it's on Hangtown, which is tenths of a second separating everybody on a 250 anyway, and we've already had like 4 or so days to play the track. But we'll see. It's just more reps, more motos, and just getting more time on the bike under my belt. So let's see how this track rides. Very, very excited. It looks pretty. Can hear the birds chirping in the background, and it looks very, very flowy, and that's something that I think Pastico's tracks are good for, is getting a little bit sideways, getting it cranked over in the ruts, and I'm hoping for more of the same on this one.
For all of you passionate gamers, you can now get 20% off all G Fuel products worldwide by using code LINS at checkout. And for any of you motorheads looking for some new drip or apparel, use code MXPR_LINS15 fxrracing.eu to get 15% off. All links and codes are in the description down below. Enjoy the video and drop a cheeky little like and subscribe.
Rightio, we've got 6 litres in our machine. We are going to guess which way the track goes first of all. Nice little water feature leaking onto the track there, and I'm going to take a wild guess that it goes the way that the whole shot banner is leading me to go. Now I want to just talk about this 250 real quick, because it seems to be a bike that people are kind of picking up at the moment. I don't know if that is Reaper that started that trend, or if he noticed it, picked up on it, and it's now become a little bit more popular. But first of all, W for him for even releasing a setup on the bike, because that's what I'm using right now, and it feels very, very lovely. But the bike's odd. It's different to a lot of bikes, and I think a lot of it might be audio based, where I'm a very audio based player, where I like to listen to what the bike's doing within the rev range based on whether I'm on shift up, shift down, stay the same. This one's a bit weird because it almost sounds like it's at the top of its rev range a lot, but then when I look down at the bottom right at the speedo that I've got from Max HUD at the bottom, it's kind of sitting within that orange range rather than redlining. So it's definitely a weird bike to get used to, and I could even go as far as replacing the sound at some point. But I actually quite like the sound on it, so I'm tempted to keep it and just try and learn to see what to do. Yeah, I'm finding myself over shifting, I think. Oh, where do we go here? Do we go straight? We do go straight. Okay, so this is the big boy. So if I didn't explain at the beginning, there is 3 nationals tracks on this. One is north, one is south, then one is called The Big. So I'm guessing the big one encompasses everything. The north is its own little loop, south is its own little loop. And it's nice that it's got its own little individual timing gates there. I mean, the start, oh, it's a bit of a swampy section. The start gates, there's 40 of them from my little flyover as well, so you can get some full lobbies in this bad boy. And just having a look at it, the ruts are made really, really nice, like nice smooth entrances and exits to them. Nothing choppy about them through there, so you can get your bike nice and cranked over. So I don't think this track will prove difficult in the way of technique. What will prove difficult is memorizing the whole thing and knowing what's coming up, because quite a few of these jumps are blind, so you have to remember what's after them. And I generally think I might have made, for the first time in my life, I might have made the wrong decision in choosing less power. I think a 450 might be much more manageable and viable around here. I just want to kind of get rid of that 450 muscle memory before streaming later today. And boys, I hate to say this to you, please don't fall down that cliff, please. Oh, thank God. I've been in my own little crisis again, which I really shouldn't be doing to myself. But basically after, oh my goodness, I need to remember where the track goes. After Hangtown in 450s, I feel like I rode very, very well. I was very competitive. There were some laps where I was even catching up to like Finn out in front, and he was just better from a consistency basis. And I was just happy with how I rode, and the gas that I was on felt very, very lovely. And I even said I should ride the gas more. Guess what bike I was on yesterday? Not the gas. I was trying out the Yami because I got sent a very, very good setup for the Yami. And now I'm a very, very torn individual, so I'm going to have to do some last-minute decisions again. I think that is a very unique section. I'm a fan of that, jumping up and over the wall at the end instead of... So I imagine you can get into like a little off rhythm and do the opposite there, where you do hit the wall, go through the water. That's very, very cool. And then that's a little split bit back there. I'm guessing either the north or the south track takes their own little detour. Oh, this is fast. It's very fast down here. I'm sorry that I'm kind of casing everything. It's hard knowing how fast to send everything on lap number 1. Little step up. Oh, we can... would you call that a quad? I suppose it's a single before a triple step up. So yeah, I get... Oh, okay. Lots... This is very, very unique. I don't really see many jumps laid out like this where you're jumping onto other jumps all the time. But I'm a fan. I like it. Like the little wet patches that we've got here and there as well. Adds a little bit more uniqueness to the track where it's not all samey. This is good. I'm enjoying this so far. And... yeah, sorry, going back to the topic at hand, gas compared to the Yamaha, I was very, very torn. So Yamaha, for me, I feel like I have more one-lap speed. However, one thing that I've been really, really enjoying recently, especially since changing my button layout to accommodate it, is the use of the quick shift in the game on the Austrian bikes, which the Yamaha doesn't have. And with starts being so important at the moment, I almost kind of want to stick with that quick shift because I'm unsure how I'll get out of the gate on the blue bike. So maybe I need to just stick to my guns. I know I do this so often. It's like, oh, I really like this bike. Let me use this, and then I feel like changing randomly. I mean, yesterday I even spent like 5-10 laps riding the damn Honda on Parlour, for crying out loud. And Honda, actually, I was very, very surprised because I absolutely detest that bike indoors. However, outdoors... Wait. Sorry. Let me. Has he made that sound to be slipperier? He has. Oh, but he's made that sound, or that he somehow managed to make it so it sounds like water when you're going through it. So yeah, the watery bits seem to have a little bit less traction, which I think is a nice W from Pastico there. Good attention to detail. Yeah, I was even trying the Honda, which I think is absolutely... It's like riding the Titanic indoors. I couldn't get it around Supercross track to save my life. But outdoors, different story. Actually handles quite nicely. I was really, really surprised. The only thing that I couldn't quite get to my liking was the front end. Like, back end would track fairly well and it would handle well in the corners. But the front end, I'd find, would be either a little bit too tucky, or it wouldn't turn well enough, depending on what I'd done geometry-wise. So maybe I'll revisit that at some day. But I think I need you guys to bully me into sticking to what I'm okay on, which is the gas. And I've been practicing starts a little bit. Obviously, we can't do like Linda launches and things like that, so I'm kind of hunting for any sort of new technique and consistent good start basis that I can right now. And yeah, we'll play it by ear. Thunder Valley is a bit of a weird one because I think a lot of people are going to be playing Hangtown at the moment, but I don't think Hangtown's going to be a good representation of what kind of track we're going to get at Thunder Valley. So I would recommend playing something a little bit rougher. I did go back and play the 2022 Thunder Valley, so I think the 2023 one just again doesn't compete in terms of the roughness that we're going to get. But I don't know. I feel like not terrible, but I don't feel too bad on it. It's crazy how much better the tracks are these days than back then, mostly in terms of like a visual aspect. I used to think that those tracks held up like really, really well, and they was like top of the game back then. But yeah, the level of track rating has just increased so much in the last 2 years. It's actually insane. Like, you go back and compete, I mean, it looks like, almost feels like some of the first tracks that we get from people these days in terms of quality. Okay, so I've just switched over to the North version, and it's spawned me in exactly the same place on the same track. So I'm going to guess that when we get to the part of the track where you have the option of either going straight or veering to the right, I think we're going to veer to the right, and then vice versa. When we do the south, when it gets to that point, we're going to turn again. and it's just going to be like half of the big loop each. So yeah, it's just a more condensed, broken down version. I don't know why I thought that was a wall jump. I do apologise. And one thing I've noticed recently is, just like in real life, EU and NA are just different in this game, and different for two reasons. Mostly, so the first reason being is I am noticing there being a bit of a trend in EU at the moment, which I believe has been caused by Mr. Finn. In more and more people are trying to stand up almost everywhere around the track to help with just the suspension handling better, less wonky physics, etc. And then when I go and watch NA, it's like that hasn't taken over NA yet, and there's a lot of sitting down going on, which I thought was quite funny, because I know like when I watch like IRL races, the GP boys definitely like up on the pegs a bit more than the NA riders are, and I just thought that was quite a funny comparison to do between bikes and in-game as well. Also noticed that the 250 of choice in EU at the moment seems to be the Husky, and in NA, the 250 of choice seems to be the Yami. So it's very interesting seeing just the differences. Like, say, well, I was gonna say same community, you know what I mean? Like, same game, same tracks, same bikes, but a different preference, which I think is very, very cool. Which again is something that, if we circle back to the whole debate of 4 OEMs, do you want all bikes to be the same, or do we want them to be a little bit different? I suppose that goes in its favour, where you do have those slight changes of them being different. I mean, if they did make them all the same and there was one bike, or like one type of power, one type of handling, if it was the handling and power of, let's say, like the TM, I'd be outraged, I'd be fuming, because I can't stand bikes like the TM. But then on the flip side, if it was maybe like they all handled like the KTM, I'd be okay with it, but not super okay, because suspension-wise, I don't really get on with the KTM amazingly. And then maybe if it was like the Yamaha, I'd be like, yeah, cool, I can make do with that. And yeah, it's difficult, but I see why we do have the differences now, and I think I'd kind of back the differences. It just, I think people do become sheep to an extent, where they don't want to try different things, and I'm guilty of this sometimes, where I'll have a bike, like literally what I was saying earlier, like the Gas, which I've done really well on, really enjoyed. A couple of people are using it at the moment, but it's not like fully taken over yet. In 450s, it still seems to be like the KTM show. And yeah, and it's like, if I don't have an amazing race, then I kind of try the KTM again, and I'm toying with following the crowd, and I feel like you just need to stick with what you're comfortable on. That's the most important thing, because I can run heaters on the KTM, but I cannot run a 35-minute race without crashing on it. Don't know what it is. The consistency on that bike for me is just not it. So I need to go with what I'm most comfortable on, I believe. So it's either going to be, you're either going to see me lining up on Friday on a Gas or Yamaha. I believe those are my two options, and we'll see how it goes. And yeah, it's it's very exciting. I was trying to kind of joking around in the AJP group chat the other day, because I didn't expect to be the fastest AJP rider at any point. I feel like I'm kind of flying the flag right now. I did not expect to get a second on a track like Hangtown. It just kind of, it goes against my riding style. But then when I thought that was the case anyway. But then I go back and kind of look at it and think about it. I'm the guy that goes and spends 100 laps riding on Forest, and Forest is an absolute highway where you just have to be very precise with where you start, and like you enter and exit corners and carrying your speed. So I suppose Hangtown is like a advanced version of that, which sounds like an insult, but it's not meant to be taken in that way. It's just generally how it feels and how it rides. I believe they might go in the other direction for Thunder Valley. I think Thunder Valley is going to be quite brutal. I mean, looking at the real life racing, if they're replicating that, there were quite a lot of long, not huge ruts in terms of how deep they were, but they were very, very long, and they look slightly skinnier in real life. And I'm interested to see if they will try that in game, because it's something that historically hasn't worked too well in having skinny ruts. The game's physics, for some reason, it just really doesn't like it. It's like, it's so easy for your tyres to pop out, but we'll see what they do. I have my my trust and my faith in them. And one thing that is nice, where we are essentially getting replicas each week, and the tracks are ending up being different because of that, it feels more like a series that whoever wins deserves to win. It's not like a one-size-fits-all. So it's quite nice. I'm excited to see it. I pray, nobody else wants this, I pray at one race this year we get a mudder. That would be so nice. We don't get outdoor mudders. Like the last one we had was the 2023 GP season at Ernay, And I love that. If anybody remembers that live stream, oh boys, I was on cloud 9 during that entire event. I was loving it. Tire tap. Oh, the power. Oh, the power. It's not much as a 450. I'm not used to those sorts of tire taps. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'd love a mudder. Don't care what round it is. Don't care where it is. I would love just an absolute mess of a track to ride around for 35 minutes. I don't know why. You all probably think I'm weird for that, but there you go. Personal preference, I guess. Okie dokie. So I was going to load up the south version as well. Then I kind of thought we've already done it. It is just like a different iteration of the same layout. So if you want the if you want the full Purple Valley experience, then I would say play the big. If you want something a bit more condensed and broken down, then play one or the other two. This is really, really nerdy, but look at the transition there between water to slightly damp dirt to drier dirt. I feel like it's just really, really well done. The transitions people make between different types of dirt layers and just objects in general, I think look so, so nice. So this is a pit bike track. I'm not on a pit bike. I realise this, but I'll be honest, I couldn't be bothered going and switching and getting a new set of drip to ride the pit bike. So we're doing it on the Yami 250. Anyway, who knows? Maybe we'll have something come out of left field and Nations will be on a Supercross track rather than an outdoors track. It probably won't be. I have no idea. Is that... I think I see why it's called Purple Valley now. Anyway, we'll carry on. A little double, round to the left, little yeet, up and over. I really do enjoy a pit bike track. The only thing that I found recently is the only pit bike tracks that we ever get are part of like larger compounds, and most of the time the compounds end up being paid tracks. You never get to have like many little pit bike, I guess, races or like series at all, anything like that. We are lacking a little bit in the free good pit bike track department. Because it is a different technique in its own in making a track that works well for the pitters. It's very easy to make things that are like too overscaled or tracks where you'll carry a bit too much speed. It feels kind of, it feels a bit backwards in creating a track of this small, because it almost feels like you can't get any speed going. But when you are wrangling the neck of the slower pit bikes, it's a very satisfying feeling in being able to almost do it like a Supercross track. And this one feels fairly flowy as well so far. The gates, how many start gates are there? I'd say about 16, maybe, or maybe a bit less than that, maybe like 12-ish. No idea. So you could have a little battle with some friends. And the one, I think the best one that we've got so far is Hurren's one, which I can't remember the name of, which is really, really embarrassing. But it's the one that's inside like the tiny, tiny little warehouse. It's got like a bit of a bluish theme, and it's got his signature yellow colour, like bowels and things like that. Going to really annoy me. I've done a race on it in the past, but yeah, I think that's the best free one that we've got. Is quite nice, and it'd be nice to, I always say this like expecting someone to do it, but I should probably do it myself at some point in hosting these different kinds of series, whether it's a Supermoto series, GNCC series, pit bike series. I know that you wouldn't get like the biggest turnout in the world from them because there's two communities on this game for the most part. It is motocross and it is bike life. I don't think you can do any sort of bike life series. That'd be an interesting one. Who can wheelie for the longest? There you go. There's 10 points for your championship. But I don't think you'd get the biggest turnout. But it'd be something nice, something different for the people that do those disciplines, IRL. I think it'd be really, really cool. And hopefully we can get back to those ways at some point. I'm still waiting for like a really popular two-stroke series similar to how European Masters used to do it. And I've thrown this out there. I just think it's very convenient that the wonky physics and the overall feel of the game, I think, has got, and maybe general community positiveness has gone downhill a little bit since EMS stopped. Coincidence? I don't know. I don't think there is one. But either way, I want to give a big old shout out to Mr. Plastico for making this for us. Very, very flowy, very nice. Again, I would recommend, if you're not like top tier, maybe go on the bigger bike, because it just makes getting over some of the jumps just so much easier. But I'm a big fan of the creativeness. Some of the jumps and just overall layouts of the jumps around here is different than, I think, anything I've seen before. So keep bringing that uniqueness and creativity our way. Big fan of it. Well done, sir. It looks really, really nice. The birds sound nice and cute. They might get annoying after a little while, to be fair. Piposo, please make a slider so we have like track sounds compared to everything else sounds. That would be lovely. But no, really good job, well done. And I just like how it's all kind of intertwined and connected to each other, and it just has a very nice chillaxed vibe, which I'm sure people will really, really enjoy. So if you've enjoyed this video, thank you very much for watching. Please drop a like if you did, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. It'd be very much appreciated. Have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to, and I will catch all of you very lovely people in the next video. Peace.
Lynn's in the zone, never backing down. Riding MX bikes, he's the talk of the town. 2022 champ with a YouTube crown. His game is tight, no signs of slowing down. Late nights, bright lights, he's chasing that fame in the digital arena. Writing his name, she's a 10 out of 10. Supporting his lane, hairline might receive, but his passion's the same.